What's up, Jackson family? Haven't heard from y'all in a long time. I ain't been up to nothing. As you can see, I've been moving around ever since my eviction. So now I am homeless, y'all. I am staying um areas now. Hi, how you doing? Um, but yeah, then my son last year caught diabetes. Caught diabetes. He was diagnosed with diabetes. He was born with it. So caught diabetes. How does that sound? Yep. He was diagnosed in May. So this May will be his 1 year anniversary. Um he got admitted to the hospital from his pediatrician's office. So here's that. And then last night I went to the hospital with my baby girl because I thought she swallowed an earbud. She did not. Okay, she did not swallow an earbud. She pooped last night. Probably gonna poop again tonight. But she pooped last night. There was no earbud. They did an X-ray, all that good stuff. They didn't see anything, even though all they can see is metal. They can't see any plastic items. But if she would have swallowed the earbud, it would have shown a big ass battery. So no, she did not. But that was quite scary, thinking that she did because we couldn't find it. And the other one she had in her mouth and dad removed the day before. So that was a lot. That was a lot. So it was chaotic because dad works 1,200 feet underground. So couldn't get in touch with him. Had to drag 5 kids at 1 o'clock in the morning all to the hospital just to say no, she didn't swallow it. But her tummy was upset because she did throw up. I didn't just go there because, oh my God, there's an missing earbud and I know she had it in her mouth, but I took it out and all of a sudden, no. It was because she threw up and we couldn't find the other one that rung off bells. But yeah, she's fine. And my other son, he's doing everything he can to mess with his diabetes. Like, he's pulling off his pod. He's hiding his insulin pens. He's even lost his phone on purpose, like his pod controller on purpose. If you know, you know. He lost it on purpose, so I ordered him a new one. Then his sensors, he's literally like messing with them. He'll pull on them to like get them to stop working or stop sensing. Speaking about that, tomorrow I have to go to the pharmacy to get him some more insulin because he lost his other insulin pen, so he doesn't need any insulin right now, especially the fact that he has a pod on. So before y'all drop down in the comments, because I know how y'all do, he does have his pod on, which holds insulin, which feeds him insulin. Um, but however, he still needs extra insulin in the house, just in case his pod does malfunction. God forbid it doesn't, um, because he just ran out today. So, yep. I will be doing that first thing in the morning. Going all the way, I drive all the way 45 minutes to his pharmacy to go ahead and get his insulin because our transfer pharmacies, ooh, I don't know what it is about Michigan and y'all fucking pharmacies. Oh my goodness. I mean, from straight out the yes, right? Boy, his for his insulin at the time he was on Libre sensors, border sensors. They didn't know nothing about his Medicaid insurance. Okay. They didn't know anything about my husband had city insurance. So the insurance was 100% paid for. Blue Cross Blue Shield. They're telling me, oh, well, the Blue Cross Blue Shield won't cover it. And then Medicaid saying if Blue Cross Blue Shield don't cover it, then we need Medicaid to cover it. And if Medicaid don't cover it, then we'll have you pay $300. Who? Who paying 300? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I think y'all should get on the phone with Blue Cross and get on the phone with Medicaid and figure out who got to pay what. So then our system, they're charging more, huh? Yeah, they're charging more money for it. Make that make sense? How you scam the insurance companies at a well-known brand of CVS store, big name store now? This ain't no rinky-dink pharmacy. They were literally saying that they charging more money. CVS now charging more money, and that's why it wasn't going through. So when I transferred after the 50th time of going through the same thing of this every single month, then their first thing was, oh well, you have to wait 31 days. After I first got it taken care of, where they adjusted the price, Blue Cross adjusted the price to fit their price. After that, it was rejecting still just in their system. Blue Cross said it wasn't coming over to their system at all. They didn't see the decline in insurance on their side. So after that, I just got, oh, I have to wait 30 days. Oh, it's because it's too early. Hmm? And this is after waiting like 30 days. They tell me wait 31. Oh, well, wait until, if it's the weekend, wait until Monday. When I transferred to Myers, I thank God for Myers in Belleville. When I transferred to Myers, I had no problems. Hello. I had no problems. Ever since I went there. I did have insurance because he had switched insurance because he had got a new employer. And that caused a little bit of strife. But other than that, after that, they fixed it. They did what they had to do. They called the insurance. They called their back in to get it straightened out. No problems. But as I was leaving the CVS to transfer over to the Myers, they were like, oh, yeah, you should transfer. It's crazy when your own employees tell you to leave their company. The lady was like, I was like, I'm thinking about leaving y'all pharmacy because this is ridiculous. She's like, yeah, you should. What? Repeat that, ma'am? I thought if you go in Verizon and you say, hey, I'm about to leave and go to AT&T, they supposed to say, no, don't do that. What can we do to make... All right, you ain't got to tell me but once. Um, and then another woman, a grandmother, she said she had been going to CVS for about 2 years. She said, yeah, the pharmacies here are ridiculous. She said, I transferred from the CVS to the Walgreens and I still deal with the same problem every month. She said, I did. I called my doctor and tell him to mail in all my supplies. She said, this doctor decided to go ahead and send my prescription over to the pharmacy. She said, I called him and tell him, which pharmacy did you send it to? And they tell her to CVS. And she said, if you don't immediately take my prescription out of this store and send it mail, she said, I'm going to take my insurance somewhere else to a different doctor. I said, I know that's right. She was like, I'm not. She said, because I done transferred from the CVS to the Walgreens and still they tell me that they can't take my insurance for some reason or my insurance is not covering all of it. And she said, mind you, I have Aetna. I have the highest plan of Aetna. She said, I done transferred from Aetna to Humana to see if my insurance was the problem. She said, it's not my insurance. It's the fact of the stores. I said, Lord, yeah. I know firsthand. I said, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and transfer to the pharmacy. I didn't think it was going to be this great, but I have no problems. I pick up my medicine. I tell them, say, hey, if I have a problem, like I see a $30 copay, or if they didn't run both insurances or whatever the case may be, I just tell them, hey, you didn't run both insurances. Can you check? Or if they say, hey, the insurance saying it won't cover it. Like I had that happen where I had to switch from a certain insulin and they said, hey, the insurance won't cover this insulin. They want you to get this insulin. No problem, made a phone call to my doctor, got it switched. She said, otherwise we can send a pre-auth. We'll make sure that it gets filled out in 1 to 5 days. If you want to go ahead and switch, you can switch. That way we could go ahead and fill it today. That's how I remember pharmacies. I don't remember, call your insurance and figure it out yourself. Otherwise, you. I don't remember that. And for anybody who says, well, why didn't you try Walgreens? Walgreens is the same way here. Same exact way. Some Walgreens don't even take Medicaid anymore. Yeah, same exact way. Call the insurance and figure it out. But when they have the back end, they can go like through the back way more. Does that make sense? They can actually pull up more information than you can. They can actually get access to more information than you can. They can figure out which codes is causing the problem. Anywho, I even had I remember when pharmacies used to call the doctor and ask the doctor, can they send a new prescription or can they adjust the prescription to best fit like what's going on with the prescription, the reason why the insurance is not taking it. Like if the prescription is too high, they would call the doctor and say, hey, can you send a new prescription for a lower dose? What happened to that? What happened when pharmacy techs used to be pharmacy techs? When you could ask them a question, you can't even ask them a question about medicine anymore. You ever tried to ask a pharmacy tech about, let's just say, if you mix Tylenol and aspirin? You ask them and they'll be like, I don't know. I wouldn't miss medications, but I don't really know. And your doctor might have said, hey, you could take Tylenol, but take your aspirin later. And you're just asking them, if I take it later, will I have stomach issues or will I have, any issues with that? They'll look at you like you, you expect me to know. I was like, it ain't like it used to be. Nope. But anyway, that's that ramble. I can ramble on and on about prescriptions and how I boohoo cried because they would not give me my son's medicine right. I bought uh, needles because when you first get diagnosed, they send you home on manual. Like you have to manually check it every 3 hours. You have to manually give insulin. Like no CGMs. Like no, which just means no sensors, no pods, no nothing. Everything's done by hand, including the carbs. Okay, so I went ahead and decided to buy some needles. I said I need some needles for my son. This man gives me whole unit needles for a 6 year old. Like I said, if you know, you know. He gives me whole units. Okay? My 6 year old can only take half units. Bad enough, I'm spending my last bit of money to try to buy 10, and it only gives you 10 needles. Okay? You have a insulin dependent child. 10 needles might last you a half a day. Might. Hold on, y'all. I gotta. But it might last you a half a day. I'm crying and upset because now the store is closed. Okay, the pharmacy is closed. I can't get the half. I can't go back half units. Can't even think. The half units. I can't get it. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I call my doctor. I'm like, should I give him like the lower dose? Like if it's 2.5, should I give him two? Or if it's 3.5, should I give him three? And he's like, yeah, just do that until the morning, and then we'll hopefully we can get the insurance straightened out. I know it's the weekend, but hopefully they could go ahead and maybe give you, you know, um, the half units just until the insurance kicks in. So I go back to the and I'm telling the man, I'm like, I told you he takes half units. You gave me full unit insulin needles. He's like, oh, my bad. Like, no apology, no, I'm sorry for your inconvenience, nothing. Just like, oh, my bad. Okay, nice. Michigan never fails to amaze me, the state. I mean, I'm not ragging on the state, but I'm ragging on the state because, and I mean, I'm not from a too good state either. I'm from um, New York, so my state ain't all that great. But it ain't all this bad either. Y'all are mean. Y'all call New Yorkers mean. No, y'all are ruthless, okay? Y'all would literally sit next to somebody while they on fire and tell them, you better figure out how you gonna get some water. Y'all are ruthless. At least in New York, they might not give you water, but they might pee on you just to put you out. Y'all won't even do that. Y'all sit right there. Let that person burn beside you. Oh, and then you talk about, well, you should never got yourself in a situation to get yourself on fire. Mm, 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 mm. Y'all are something else. Y'all are something else. But like I said, glad I wasn't born here. But I did have a child that was here, and I loved. So this is a good note. I loved the Mott Children's Hospital. Like I said, shout out if you know, you know. I love the Mott Children's Hospital, except for the racism. That's where they lost me because the reason why I say it was some racism is because after I had my daughter, number one, y'all know Michigan is a legal state. Okay, my husband does indulge. I don't, but he does. So he would go, of course, all the way downstairs, all the way to the truck to smoke. Wouldn't smoke in the parking lot. So before y'all come there, no, he would go to the house because, of course, we have children at home. So he would do it when he went to go see them, check on them. So he would go and come back. Sometimes when he was going upstairs, he must have just lit one, came upstairs smelling like it. So my nurse goes, why do they need a fecal check? Mind you, they had already given me a drug test, okay, before I went into labor. Okay. They already tested my blood and everything and, you know, seen what all is in there. Okay. Everything came back negative. Everything was good. So this is right before I had my child. Right before. Because I had to go in for an induction. And if you don't know, regardless if you go in for an induction or not, ladies, at your 8 month or 7 month appointment, they'll do a random urine test. Okay? Be very random. They're going to, give you these urine tests, of course, every single visit. I think it's like every other visit or every single visit. They do a urine test to see if you have like UTIs or vaginosis or something like that. But they're going to take one of those tests and not tell you about it. Happens around 7 or 8 months. And they're going to test for drugs. They did that to me. Was not worried. Okay. Then on top of that, before I went into induction, like I said, I guess it's to check to see if I would be addicted to any of the medications or whatever. I'm just assuming. But they did a drug test. Okay, fine. Came back negative. Why did they choose after having my baby to ask for a fecal test? My nurse is like, why are they asking for a fecal test? We're not going to do that. We're not going to stereotype. She's like, even if your husband indulges, by looking at your chart, there's no reason for them to suspect that they needed a fecal test. So she messaged the doctor, the physician back, and it was one of the standing physicians. It wasn't my primary physician. And she's like, hey, do you really, need a vicious and very stereotypical? I'm the type of person, like I said, I was in New York, and New York is low key racist as well. New York, the only difference between New York and Michigan, like I said, New York would pee on you to put you out. Michigan will just sit there and watch you burn. They'll just sit there and watch you burn. They don't care. And then, New York will call you the N word afterwards. Michigan will call you the N word and sit there and watch you burn. While being a firefighter. Yep. So that's the difference between those two, and that's why mm-mm, I'm so glad, so glad I wasn't raised here, because y'all would have had a problem with me. But like I said, I didn't give the people no hassle. When I seen the physician, I said hi. I spoke to the
Yes,
physician.
man.
Ooh, my bad. Close that. I don't even know how that got open. Oh, my husband big go. But yeah, did anybody get their taxes? Man, speaking about another thing about Michigan, they refused my taxes just like everybody else's taxes, but they did get my husband's taxes. I wish they run me my money. I just got a message today because I put in for an informal hearing. I'm that type. See, I put in for hearings, I put in for conferences, I put in lawsuits. I do all of those things. I got a civil suit. I really do. Now I have a civil suit waiting on somebody. hmm Um, but yeah, I put in a conference, an informal conference. So now I just got a message that they just received my information that I sent about 15 million times when my taxes was accepted on the 27th of January, and they're saying that they just got my information on February 23rd. And that being that they just got my information on the 23rd, I have to wait 16 weeks after they got that information. When they got it, they sent me the letter, okay, on the 4th. I sent in the information on the 6th. Then I sent more information because I filed again, because I kept filing, okay? I filed again on I think it was like the 16th. They sent me another letter on the 21st. Then I filed again, and they talking about the letter from the 23rd, because I filed on the 22nd. The letter from the 23rd, they just now get my information. I said, okay. And I'm still not canceling my informal conference. So either you gonna process my refund like you're supposed to, or you gonna be up in that conference explaining why you can't process when I gave you all my information. And I don't care what nobody says. I will scream it to the top of the mountains that if it's good enough for federal, it's good enough for state. Okay? Let that sink in. So because they lied and talking about, oh well, you didn't verify your identity. What? How I didn't verify my identity when I have a whole account? Just like IRS, you have to verify your identity to get an account, and you have to show that identity information has to show in the system. Okay, so like I said, they will be running me my money, and otherwise, I will be seeing them in court, and I won't be canceling shit. So if they send me that message to say, hey, maybe she'll cancel the conference since we said we got the information. No. Nope. When I get that check in the hand, then I'll cancel it. But until then, whatever. I've been jabbering for about 30 minutes. So I'm about to get off. I just came up here because y'all ain't seen me in a long time. And I ain't tell y'all none of my business. So that was a lot of my business. Um, but yeah, I got some more videos I gotta post up. And if you're not following me on TikTok, go follow me over there on TikTok. Virginia Munchkin 925 over there on TikTok. Follow me over on TikTok, okay? Cause this ain't it. Nah, I'm just kidding. I love YouTube. But I see y'all in the next one. Bye.